Hi everyone! In this video, we'll look at how to automate album sharing in ViXC, setting up a workflow that shares our albums without any manual effort. We've broken this down into a few simple parts. To kick things off, let's dive straight into the workflow automation setup. First, we'll head over to the Automation tab up in the top navigation bar. This opens up our workflow automation space, where we're greeted with a blank canvas ready to be built on. Over on the left, we can see any previously saved templates, like this one named Search Share. Down at the bottom, the status terminal pops up. This is where we'll track the progress of our workflow once it's running. Shifting focus to the Tools panel on the left, we'll find all the building blocks needed to put our workflow together. We're now fully set up in the automation screen and ready to build. Next, let's bring in the specific nodes from the Tools panel to define exactly what our workflow will do. To start building the workflow, drag the Search tool from the Tools panel onto the canvas. We can freely drag these nodes anywhere on the canvas, letting us arrange our workflow structure exactly how we like it. Next, we'll pull the Create Album tool over so we can easily group our search results together. An error might pop up saying the node is missing an images input. There's no need to worry. That just means it isn't connected to a source yet, which we'll fix in just a moment. Finally, we'll drag the Share tool onto the canvas, completing our 3-node setup. All of our essential nodes are now placed on the canvas. Now it's time to connect these nodes and map out the flow of our automation. We simply drag a line from the output of the Search node to the input of the Create Album node, telling the system to pass those search results forward. The error updates to let us know the Share node still isn't reachable. That's our next link to make. We'll go ahead and link the Create Album output straight into the Share node, completing the chain from search all the way to sharing. With everything properly connected, the error clears and the status terminal pops back into view, signaling our workflow structure is good to go. The nodes are securely linked and ready for configuration. With the structure in place, we can configure our advanced search filters to define exactly what the workflow should look for. We'll click on the Search node we just placed to open the search configurations. This brings up the Advanced Search window, where we can narrow down our images using filters like people, location, dates, and labels. It's always worth taking a moment to scroll through the options. For this example, we'll filter by what's in the photo, so we'll click inside the Object Labels field. As we start typing the label we're after, suggestions automatically pop up to help us find a match quickly. We'll pick the fireworks suggestion from the list. With that label added to our criteria, we just hit Validate to confirm the settings. A Filters are valid notification appears and the Search node turns green, confirming everything is configured correctly. The search filters are now validated and ready. Next up, we need to configure the Create Album node to dictate how those matched photos will be organized. We'll click right on the Create Album node to open its details. In the pop-up window, we head to the Album Name field and type in a descriptive name. Then, we hit Validate to check if that name is available. In this case, an error lets us know that the album name already exists, meaning we'll need to choose something a bit more unique. We can easily update it to be more specific, perhaps by adding a year. We'll give Validate one more click. This time it's accepted. The window closes and the node turns green to show it's all set up. Our album creation details are now validated. Finally, we'll define our share recipients to specify exactly who gets the new album. We just open up the Share node by clicking on it. This brings up the configuration window, where we decide how and with whom the results are shared. In the Recipient Emails field, we'll type in the email address of our intended recipient. Once the email is added as a tag, we hit Validate to confirm. The Share node turns green, and a confirmation lets us know our share settings are perfectly valid. The recipients are defined, and our entire workflow is now fully configured. Now for the fun part. Let's run the workflow and see it in action. We simply hit the Execute Flow button and let the automation take over. A Workflow Submitted notification will pop up, and the status down in the terminal switches over to Running. We can keep an eye on the status terminal as it streams a live log of each step, from the initial search all the way to the album being successfully shared. The workflow is complete, and our images have been shared. Before we wrap up, let's save and rename this template so we can easily reuse it later without having to rebuild the flow. To save our workflow, we'll click the Save Template button. a quick confirmation appears, and our new template shows up in the Save Templates list on the left. Since it saves with a generic name by default, let's give it something more meaningful by clicking the pencil icon next to it. This turns the name into an editable field. We'll clear out the default name first, and type in a descriptive name that clearly reflects what this workflow does. Then, we confirm the new name by clicking the checkmark icon. Just like that, our template is renamed and ready to go whenever we need it. Our template is saved with a fresh name. We now have a full workflow that automates searching images, album creation, and album sharing from start to finish in ViXC. Give it a try to see how much time it saves on your own albums, and we'll catch you in the next one.